Hey y'all, so I am in Eugene, Oregon, and I gotta fill you in a little bit on what's happened in the last week. I don't do these regularly. I kind of try to do them once a week, I guess. I don't know. But the good thing about not having a huge following is that when I don't post anything, nobody cares. The bad thing is that I actually have videos scheduled every single day and nobody cares. But, this is what it is. I like what I'm doing, so I'm having fun, and I hope you enjoy it. I think the last update I had, I was with a flat tire in Wyoming. Got that fixed. Got back on the road. Enjoyed a beautiful ride. I think I might have shared some video of that. Hopefully, one of you will watch that. And then let's see. I made it to Jackson, Wyoming. Spent 4th of July there. Had wonderful fireworks. I wrote a lot of poetry and played music in the park. And that was a lot of fun. And then I headed on from there. I had a couple days in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Not really much to report about it. It's just Idaho Falls. Hung out with my host, and we had fun together, but nothing huge to report. They did have this thing in Idaho. Oh, I forget what it's called now. But we went in like an hour and sat in these recliner chairs, and they had these things in the corners that were like 5D stuff or whatever, interesting energy, and so I had a nice nap, and I guess it was healing. Felt nice. Then I went on to what's that other place in Idaho? Boise, Idaho. And I was trying to find a place to camp along the way, but a lot of the places where I want to go camp, they have gravel roads, and my motorcycle really doesn't like gravel roads, so I avoid those at all costs. So I wasn't able to go get to the places where I was going to camp, and I got a hotel for a night in Boise and hung out the rest of the day because I had a couch surfer host set up. Unfortunately, his truck broke down, and he had a lot of issues to deal with, and didn't let me know till like 6 o'clock or so that I wasn't going to be staying there. So I had a great time in Boise, though. They have a beautiful nature center there. They have the Anne Frank Memorial, which was really encouraging, and I shared some photos of that, and I'll share some more later on. So when I found out I wasn't going to be staying at that guy's place, I didn't want to get a hotel again, so I just headed for the border, found a place to camp for the night, and pretty much for the last 6 nights I've slept in my hammock or a hammock. I got to Bend, Oregon, and Oregon is a beautiful state, and it has so many different like ecosystems in it. So I went from like the high desert and all these rocks into the mountains. Camped out on top of this mountain one night. It was just beautiful. I had the whole place to myself, and me and the elk, which was cool. But then I went to Bend for a couple of nights, and I was really fortunate. They had a few music events, and I set up my typewriter and made a couple $100 in poetry, so that was really helpful. And then the people I was staying with there, the hosts, they already had a hammock set up in their backyard, and I slept there for a couple of nights, and it was great. And then I'd reached out to a number of intentional communities, like communes and such, eco-villages, that kind of thing. And the one that responded positively about me coming for a visit was called Alpha Farm Community out of Deadwood, Oregon, which I just thought Deadwood sounded cool. And, I'm Steve McAlphabet. I should go to Alpha Farms, right? So I messaged the woman who I'd been contacting, who was their visitor outreach coordinator, and I reached out to her, I don't know, like early to mid-week, I guess, and let her know exactly when I was going to be coming, or at least I said Saturday or Sunday. Got nothing back, but I went out there anyway. And I went there, and by then, GPS didn't work, so I was, I could still look at the map, but it didn't give me directions in my ear. So got to this road, beautiful, amazing road. Probably the most beautiful road I think I've ever ridden down in all 43 states so far. Or 42, I don't remember what number I'm on. 45, I'm on 45. Anyway, this was a beautiful road. And it finally, pavement ended to it, but it was right where Alpha Farms was. Anyway, they got a little gravel driveway, and they have this bridge that had like 2 tracks for tires on it. And so I had to ride the motorcycle over one of these tracks, and very narrow thing. So that was kind of fun. But I get there and the place is like almost seemed abandoned. I'm kind of walking around looking for signs of life, and the buildings were pretty old. Apparently they moved there in 1972. Organization formed in 1971. There were some Quakers came over from Pennsylvania to start this thing, and apparently there are like 12 people living on the property now. I met two of them, the younger folk, and they didn't have me registered for any particular dates, so they were like, yeah, you're not registered to stay here. So I was like, all right, see ya. It wasn't, maybe it was the heat or whatever, I don't know. But when I was first walking around there, it felt like I was like in an episode of The Walking Dead, it looked almost abandoned in many ways. But there's some, hippie vibes there and whatever. And the kids I talked to were nice enough. They just didn't have it organized. And apparently their person who organizes visitor outreach is off grid and can't communicate. Not a great policy, but whatever. Anyway, so I went back to Deadwood and I videoed this beautiful ride. I'll share that later on. You should watch it, it's gorgeous. And there's this little market, the Deadwood Family Market and Tavern right there. So I went in there and I talked to the owners, Dimitri and Tina, and Dimitri was like, oh yeah, I just, set up across the road there. And so there's the county boat ramp there, and just two trees, beautifully spaced for my hammock. It was right by this river. It was great. So camped out there for the night, and I hung out with some locals and played them some music. And then next day, I was like, all right, let's go. I thought about going to the the Oregon Country Fair. It's this really big deal, but it's like $60 for a ticket. And I might have been able to go in there and do some typing or whatever, and I don't know, but I didn't really want to chunk down $60 for a ticket. And, I'm sure it was fun, but I decided to ride to the coast, and so I rode the coast, and it was amazing to reach on the 40th day of this trip, to reach the Pacific Ocean. It was just gorgeous. So I had a nice glimpse for a little while, but then further north, the fog was really thick. But the road was beautiful, and I taped some of that, and I'll share that a little later as well. And then I just rode up the coast up to Newport, and then came back through, and I found a place to camp last night as well. And I've got a couch surfing host here in Eugene. I'll be staying here for a couple of nights, and then I'm going to go to Portland for a couple of nights. I've got a actual scheduled appointment to play in the park there, and I've never been to Portland before. Oh, but Eugene, I was here like, I don't know, another lifetime, 20-something years ago, when I had my first motorcycle. And I'd ridden out to Santa Cruz and earned some money and came up here. And there was a park where I lived in this tent for about 2 weeks. Maybe I was up here. I don't remember where that park is. I was looking on the map trying to find it. I thought it would be kind of fun. But I found a manual typewriter back then, and I hammered out a 75-page screenplay when I was here, and kind of prepared myself for Hollywood, I guess. But it was an interesting time, and Eugene's a beautiful city. Oregon's a beautiful state. I really love riding around through Oregon. I can't say that the people are all that friendly, though. I mean, nobody says howdy, I say howdy to everybody, or good morning, or how you doing, whatever. And they don't do that here. It's just kind of like some tight-lipped smiles. Some people say hi back, but it's not a lot of them, I mean, I got to Oklahoma, and everybody said howdy before I even said howdy. And that's like the best greeting in the world, I mean, hello? Who came up with hello? It starts with hell. Eternal damnation is not a way to greet somebody. So I like howdy. It's a beautiful way to say hi, but they don't say it here a lot. At least not in Bend, they didn't. And the people I've met since then, I found some kind of friendly folk, but I don't know. We'll see what happens in Eugene and in Portland. But anyway, that's my update. It's been kind of nice to be off the grid for a few days without any kind of service on my phone, like at all, other than being able to see the map. And the great thing about this part of the country is that when you're going somewhere, you just get on that road and you take that road, and that's it. So I don't need GPS a lot telling me where to go because there's no turns. You just follow the road and you eventually show up where you got to go. Anyway, so that's my report so far. It's been a beautiful trip. Thank you for those of you who are watching, and I did start sharing some stuff on Facebook and Instagram again. Yeah, there you go. So that's it. Let me know if you want more or what you want more of or something, and I don't know. We'll see what goes on. But y'all have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go enjoy this beautiful weather here in Eugene, Oregon, and I'll talk to you soon.